السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, inshallah, today is the 27th of the Qa'dah 1442, and this matches the 7th of July 7/7/2021. And today we are doing chapter number 57 في ذكر سماع الجنة, mentioning the listening, that is the listening to singing, right, in paradise. وغناء الحور العين, and the singing of الحور العين, women of paradise. وما فيه من الطرب واللذة, and what is involved in it in enjoyment and joy, right? He mentions the ayat from Surah Ar-Rum 14:15. Surah Ar-Rum 14:15. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةُ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَفَرَّقُونَ فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَهُمْ فِي رَوْضَةٍ يُحْبَرُونَ. Now these ayat from the Noble Quran, and it says, and on the day when the hour will be established, that day shall, between brackets, all men be separated. And the believers will be separated from the disbelievers. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَفَرَّقُونَ. Right? They will be split into groups, two groups, believers, disbelievers. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, then as for those who believed, that is in the oneness of Allah, Islamic monotheism, between brackets, and did righteous good deeds, such shall be honored and made to enjoy luxurious life, that is forever, in a garden of delight, that is in paradise. فَهُمْ فِي رَوْضَةٍ يُحْبَرُونَ. So يُحْبَرُونَ is the word that now we want to he wants to focus on. عن يحيى بن أبي كثير, يحيى بن أبي كثير, he said in this statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, فهم في روضة يحبرون. This is from the second generation of Muslims. قال الحبرة اللذة والسماع. This يحبرون here means they enjoy and the listening, the enjoyment and the listening, right? ولا يخالف هذا قول ابن عباس يكرمون. This does not conflict with the statement of Ibn Abbas, who said يكرمون, يحبرون, as for those who believed and did righteous deeds, then they are in a garden في جنة يحبرون, being in a state of enjoyment, right? So Yahya ibn Abi Kathir, he said they are listening, like to the singing, right? Ibn Abbas is reported to have said yukramun, being honored, right? Yukramun, being honored. وقال مجاهد وقتادة ينعمون. Mujahid and Qatada, they said yuhbarun means yuna'amun. Now, yuna'amun comes from na'im, which is bliss and enjoyment, right? That's why they translated it as they are in luxury, being luxuriously right, enjoying. Yuhbarun, it's like the utmost of enjoyment, right? Yuhbarun. He said that those statements do not conflict with one another, because فلذة الأذن بالسماع من الحبرة والنعيم. Right? He said that the enjoyment of the ear by listening, this is from luxurious type of enjoyment and type of the blissful enjoying life that they are going through. So let me inshallah, just the word is here. I was trying to find basically حبر is سر وأبهج, to gladden, delight, cheer up, and so on, so forth. Right? To be happy, glad, delighted, cheerful. وعن أبي هريرة يعني this narration is just a statement that is attributed to Abi Huraira, and the narration in terms of weakness is not that strong, but it says that there will be a river and in paradise, and then on both sides you will have the women of paradise singing, facing each other and singing, right? And they are singing in a voice that very enjoying to those who are listening to them. And they asked Abu Huraira what kind of singing, what are the words they are using. So he mentioned tasbih, tahmid, taqdees, right? Praising the Lord, thana ala Rabb Azza wa Jal. So, but then once again, those narrations, and like yesterday, I had to pass a number of narrations because and mention some, but at the same time tell you that we do not have a strong support for that. It's not a hadith. We don't want to attribute to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that which he did not say. And at the same time, there are these statements that are reported from some companions, some tabi'in. Some of them are not that strong, but then they just paint some sort of a picture that gives you more information. But then you don't want to rely on this saying that this is authentic, right? There is a narration from Anas, and this one Sheikh Al-Albani authenticates in Sahih Al-Jami' Al-Saghir. And this one it says, إن الحور العين ليغنين في الجنة يقولن نحن الحور الحسان خبئنا لأزواج كرام. Right? This narration that Sheikh Al-Albani authenticates is a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says that surely al-hur al-ain, those beautiful women of paradise, ليغنين في الجنة, they surely sing in paradise. يقولن, they say, نحن الحور الحسان, we are the beautiful hur, women of paradise. خبئنا لأزواج كرام, we were concealed, we were hidden, prepared for noble husbands. أزواج كرام. Also, there is another narration from Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and this is also Sheikh Al-Albani authenticates in Sahih Al-Jami' Al-Saghir, it says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إن أزواج أهل الجنة ليغنين أزواجهن. If you have the book, you need to correct the ta, you change it to a noon, right? Not ليغتين, ليغنين, right? Surely the wives of the people of paradise, they surely sing to their husbands. ليغنين أزواجهن بأحسن أصوات, with the most beautiful voices. ما سمعها أحد قط, nobody ever has heard of. إن مما يغنين به, surely part of what they sing, نحن الخيرات الحسان. خيرات, the plural of خيرة, right? We understood that. And this is the goodness, يعني the good ones, the good ladies, right? Al-Hisan, the beautiful ones. We are the good and beautiful. أزواج قوم كرام, the wives of a people who are noble. ينظرن بقرة أعين, they look with the eye of satisfaction, right? وإن مما يغنين به, right? وإن مما يغنين به, and surely part of what they sing. So that's part, and this is another part. The first part is we are the good and beautiful women of paradise. We are the spouses, the wives of noble people who look at us with satisfaction. The other part is وَإِنَّ مِمَّا يُغَنِّينَ بِهِ, part of what they sing with, they say نَحْنُ الْخَالِدَاتُ فَلَا يَمُتْنَهُ, we are the ones who will stay forever, right? Live forever. Khalidat. You have the word Khalid, that's the masculine. Khalid ibn al-Walid, right? Khalid, the one who stays for a long time or forever, right? Khalid. And Khalidah is the feminine. The plural now, Khalidat. So we are the ones who live forever. Khalidat. طيب. فلا يمتنا, we never die. نحن الآمنات فلا يخفنا, we are the ones who are completely safe and secure, so we never are afraid, right? No fear at all in paradise. نحن المقيمات فلا يضعن, we are the ones who are residents, we are the ones who reside, we never go away, we never travel, right? So they always stay, and they always stay with their husbands, right? طيب. So this is part of the singing. And يحبرون, right? يحبرون, this exquisite and this high type of enjoyment that they are going through. And part of that is this singing from these women of paradise. Now, there is another narration that he mentions. It's attributed to Ibn Shihab from At-Tabi'in, second generation of Muslims, a famous scholar, Muhammad ibn Shihab, attributed to him. It says that a man from Quraysh, he said to Ibn Shihab, is there listening in paradise? Because I love to listen, يعني to listen to singing, that is. فقال إي والذي نفس ابن شهاب بيده, he told him, yes, by the one in whose hand is my soul. إن في الجنة لشجرا, so in paradise there are trees of lu'lu' wa zabarjad, pearls and aquamarines, right? Under it there are women, the women of paradise, who are singing, and they sing different songs, بألوان, different ones, different types of singing. They say, we are the ones who are completely enjoying or perfectly enjoying na'imat. So we never go into misery. فلا نبأس. We are al-khalidat فلا نموت. We are the ones who stay forever. We never die. So when the trees listen to this, they shake and make sound, all of the trees together, responding, يعني echoing to the singing of الجواري. فأجبنا الجواري فلا ندري أصوات الجواري أحسن أم أصوات الشجر. You wouldn't know whether the voices of the girls singing is the one that is better, or the voices or the sounds that are made by the trees, right? So once again, this is now a report, right, that is mentioned, attributed to Ibn Shihab. So he's from the second generation of Muslims. Allah knows if it's authentic or not, but it just gives you right. So as I said, that the Sheikh rahimahullah, he was compiling everything, putting it together. And when I'm reading, right, through the book and the different copies of it, right, sometimes I pass by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages, and the footnote says weak narration, weak narration, weak narration, right? And especially some of those tough revisers, right, judging the hadith in a tougher way, you would find that they basically they say this is weak, this is weak, this is weak, right? So this is the case. So, for instance, this one. Okay, this one is the narration from Ibn Shihab here. For instance, here, this is according to this footnote here. This copy is revised by one of the students of knowledge from the students of the well-known Sheikh Mustafa Al-Adawi, right? Hafidhahullah, still alive. So he says that this narration attributed to Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri is, in terms of chain, isnaduhu hasan. It is a good narration. So according to this, it means that more likely we believe that Ibn Shihab said this, right? He made this statement. If you see, نحن الناعمات فلا نبأس ونحن الخالدات فلا نموت. We are the ones who are enjoying, we never going through misery. We are the ones who live forever, we never die. This we saw in the other hadith. The meaning of it is there, right? But what is more is this, the trees echoing that, right? Where did Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, he's from the second generation of Muslims, where did he get that? Allah knows best. He might have got it from the companions, right? But who knows? Maybe. So on its own, it's not like a proof on its own, but you can see it paints a picture about, it gives you more, right? From the statements of these worthy scholars, right? Imagine that there is a scholar that you respect and hold in esteem and regard from our time, and he said this. So we know that someone may be right and may be wrong. There is no one who's infallible from the human beings other than the prophets, right? But this one is a great scholar. This Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, from the great scholar, the teachers of Imam Malik, right? And many others took hadith from him. He's a very solid scholar. Right? So he is the one who said that. So from these narrations, sometimes I thought, should I skip Should I, not? And the copy that I'm using, the summary that I'm using, is an older version that it doesn't have this much, the footnotes. So it's many narrations we pass by, and sometimes the summarizer, he will use the weak narration and he will leave out something that may be more strong than it. But then once again, all of this is not. That's why I'm making sure that you hear the hadith, this Sheikh al-Albani, this hadith Sheikh al-Albani rahimahullah, he authenticated, right? So he gives it, maybe someone else said no, for you to, for us to explore further. But then once again, this is how knowledge is, right? So he mentions another one similar to it, and to Khalid ibn Yazid, right? He said the same thing, right? Khair, inshallah. So I just wanted to make this point clearer. Now he goes on, he says in a section and within the chapter, وَلَهُمْ سَمَاعٌ أَعْلَى مِنْ هَذَا. They actually listen to something that is even higher than this, right? And he mentions something from one of the well-known Zuhad, Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir, that when the day of judgment happens, a caller will call, where are those who used to shy away and have their ears shy away? They themselves shy away, stay away, and they have their ears shy away and avoid, yunazzihun, right? Shy away from what? Majalis Allah wa mazamir al-shaytan. From the sessions of amusement and listening to the Satan's voices, right? Mizmar and mazamir, generally musical instruments. It could be specific ones like the flute, right? But then what is meant here is the voices and the sounds of Satan, right? The sounds of Satan. Where are they? It will be said, where are those people who used to stay away from prohibited listening, right? أسكنوهم رياض المسك. Make them live in gardens of musk. ثم يقول للملائكة أسمعوهم تمجيدي وتحميدي. Then he says to the angels, make them listen to my glorification and to my praise. So that was with the Hur al-Ain, they are singing. He's saying, now this is even more better. The angels celebrate the praises of Allah and they glorify Him to those people who used to stay away and avoid the sessions of listening. Now, once again, this could be taken from the people of the book, or we don't know, Allahu A'lam. And Allah knows about the authenticity to the one who said it. But then this is how it is. Also, Malik ibn Dinar, so well known for zuhd, shying away and being disinterested in the worldly pleasures. He said regarding وَإِنَّ لَهُ عِنْدَنَا لَزُلْفَى وَحُسْنَ مَآبٍ, about Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam, right? That for him surely he has with us zulfa wa husna ma'ab, he is close to Allah and he has a good return to us. It's about Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam. What does Malik ibn Dinar say? He says that Allah will have, well, once again, it's not a hadith, right? You understand that. But look what he's saying. It could be from the people of the book. Allah knows best. That Allah will tell Dawood. And you know that Dawood alayhi salam, he's a very good voice. وَيَا جِبَالُ أَوِّبِ مَعَهُ وَالطَّيْرِ, right? That the mountains and the birds will echo what he says, right? And of the remembrance of Allah. And he has a very good voice. alayhi salatu wassalam. So Malik ibn Dinar, this Zahid, he says that Allah will make him stand on the day of judgment, right, at the throne, at the leg of the throne, in the Saqi al-Arsh, and he says to him, O Dawood, مجدني اليوم بذلك الصوت الحسن الرخيم. Glorify me today with that voice of yours that was very beautiful, that is very nice and enjoying, right? Rahim. So he says, my God, how would I glorify you with something that you took away from me in this worldly life? And he passed away, he died, right?
Yeah.
سلبتنيه في دار الدنيا. Allah says to him then, I will return it to you, and he returns it to him. So then his sound, his voice becomes even louder, right? Increased, yazdad. So then the people of paradise will enjoy the singing, the not the singing, the voice of praise that Dawood will do, alayhi salatu wassalam, right? So Allah knows best if this is something that will happen, but then he mentioned that Allah knows best where it is from. It could be from the people of the book. There is another narration from Ubaidah ibn Abi Lubaba giving something similar to the trees making sounds that are very nice, right? There is nothing that is more enjoying than listening to the sound of these trees when they shake, right? And there is another narration attributed to Ibn Abbas about the tree that is the rider will ride 100 years under its shade, right? So he says they will speak under its shade. So some of them will desire something and they will remember the amusement that was in the worldly life. So Allah sends to them a wind from paradise. So again, it moves those trees with every beautiful sound that was in this worldly life. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, وَلَهُمْ سَمَاعٌ أَعْلَى مِنْ هَذَا يَضْمَحِلُّ دُونَهُ كُلَّ سَمَاعٍ. They will even have a type of listening that enjoyment with listening that is higher than all of this, that all these types of enjoyment through listening will actually vanish compared to this enjoyment of listening. And that is, he says, وَذَلِكَ حِينَ يَسْمَعُونَ كَلَامَ الرَّبِّ جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ. That is when they listen to the speech of the Lord, جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ, وَخِطَابُهُ وَسَلَامُهُ عَلَيْهِمْ وَمُحَاضَرَتُهُ لَهُمْ. When he speaks to them, gives them salam, and him addressing them, right? He says, وَيَقْرَأُ عَلَيْهِمْ كَلَامَهُ. He says he recites to them his words. There are some reports that will come. The thing is, are they authentic, right? So if they listen to that from him, فكأنهم لم يسمعوه قبل ذلك. When they listen to it from him, the Quran, that is, it's as if they never heard it before that. So these narrations, inshallah, will come later on, inshallah. And he mentions another narration that the people of paradise, they go twice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he recites to them Al-Quran, right? Once again, those narrations are not, but he is mentioning that here. Some statements, for instance, the one that was attributed to Malik ibn Dinar, right? the one about Dawood, right? That report about Dawood, according to the footnote here, is a true statement to Malik ibn Dinar, right? يعني Malik ibn Dinar, يعني more than likely he did say this statement, but once again it's not a hadith, right? And there is a hadith that is raised up to the Prophet, but it's not authentic. It's in the Sunan, not the Sunan, narrated by Imam al-Bayhaqi, right? في كتاب البعث, right? And it's in other books. One of the books that he used a lot is called Sifatul Jannah by Imam Ibn Abi Dunya, the description of paradise by Ibn Abi Dunya. And many narrations are taken from that book. The narration of another version of the narration of Ibn Malik ibn Dinar is also authentic to him. And then the narration from Abda ibn Abi Lubaba about the tree whose fruits are from aquamarines and rubies and pearls. Allah sends a wind, and then it shakes those trees. They shake, so you hear voices. No voices are more enjoying than that, right? So this is also Hasan. Yani this statement is Hasan, but then once again, it's not a hadith, right? So a number of these are like that. Also, the statement that was mentioned from Ibn al-Munkadir, he says it's also authentic from him, right? Those that says, where are the ones who stayed away from listening to the prohibited listening, right? And he makes the angels say to them the glorification and the praise of Allah. This is يعني true authentic statement from Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir, right? So that is that. Mhm. So Allahu a'lam يعني. And there are similar reports to some of what we mentioned also, and some of them come with, as I said, authentic authentication to the one who said them, either from the Sahaba or the Tabi'een or Atba'ut Tabi'een, second and third generation of Muslims. But then these are just statements that are reported to them from them. They are not like they don't have the weight of a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. For instance, the one that says they enter twice to upon Allah Azza wa Jal, and he recites to them the Quran, right? Abdullah bin Buraidah, right? This one is a very weak narration, right? So that's that. I was between just skipping the whole, or just using only the hadith, or let's just take samples of what is in there without like relying on it. I don't want you to go out from here or after listening to the video and you believe that this will happen because this is a statement of someone. We don't know, it's not in the Quran, it's not in the Hadith. So, but as you see, it's just elaborating more on enjoyment that we know it's already there, right? So knowing about this is better than not knowing about it, right? But if you know it, then you don't completely rely on it, inshallah. The next chapter is 58. That is في ذكر مطايا أهل الجنة وخيولهم ومراكبهم. The rides of the people of paradise, their horses and their vehicles, basically, marakibhum, what they ride upon, right? So the riding animals and their horses and their, and once again, he will mention different narrations in there. Some might be taken as authentic, like there is a hadith, one hadith, you find the same scholar authenticating it in one book and not authenticating it in the other. So inshallah, we'll go through that, inshallah. What I'm just trying to explain for those who are listening, and why are we going through this? This is why we're trying to benefit from whatever information that is available in the book, trying to take what is explicit and what is authentic. Like the many ahadith you heard in Bukhari, Muslim, or agreed upon, or in the Sunan, and they are authentic narrations, and there are some narrations that scholars differ about authenticity. Then you have the next level, which is the narrations from Sahaba. Then you have the next level, the narrations from Tabi'een, and then Atba'ut Tabi'een, or even later scholars sometimes, an understanding by one of the scholars who came later on, which could be true. Even as you heard, sometimes the people of the language themselves, they differ about the meaning of something. So if you took it to mean this, it's different from taking it to mean that, right? But then in the end, you find yourself, after going through this, you find yourself more informed. And even if you know that there is something, but it is weak, right? It's better than not to know anything about it, right? Because sometimes you come across a narration and then you say, yeah, I heard this before. This is not, and this is the benefit of studying what is authentic and what is not authentic. Some people, they will just, why are we going through this? Why are we just give us, the right, the butter, as they say, which is good. This is a good thing. Sometimes you skim and you mention only what is explicitly authentic or directly known to be correct, crystal clear. But then there are other information that is available. There is other information that is available that may be also beneficial. I will stop here, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. We continue tomorrow, inshallah.
What day do you visit Allah? One day of the week